Live better and longer with the Fitzness Show, hosted by fitness expert, author, and TV personality Fitz Kohler. She'll tell you why diets are dumb, supplements are snake oil, and the truth about how you can earn a lean, hard, pain-free, and athletic body. Now for our favorite bossy blonde, Fitz Kohler.
Hi, team. I'm Fitz Kohler, your very bossy fitness expert from fitzness.com, and welcome to the Fitzness Show. Today, I've got a superb guest, and we will be talking about sex. That's right, the big sex thing we're not supposed to talk about, but I think we should talk about, and I guess my guest totally believes we should be talking about this stuff. But yeah, great topic, and especially good to listen to if you've got your earbuds on and nobody knows what you're talking about. I know it's supposed to be scandalous, but you're not going to believe who I'm talking about sex with. You're just not going to believe. But my guess is she's a sex columnist for several magazines. She's published about 20 sex columns for folks to read near and far. She's a sex ed presenter, and she's spoken to hundreds, if not thousands of people this season alone, and she is my daughter. That's right, the one and only Ginger Kohler. Hey, Bean.
Hi, Mom. Hi.
How about you with all your credentials?
I know. I'm getting there. I'm getting a degree in theories and politics of sexuality and journalism. So that's fun. I'm not just talking about it randomly. I got a little street cred to back me up.
That's right. Ginger's a Gator. She attends the University of Florida and share her degrees. It's journalism, and then
it's called Theories and Politics of Sexuality.
Yeah. And why are you so passionate about this subject?
I think that sex is super normal and healthy, and I think there are a lot of pressures in both directions on what people should be doing with their sex lives, and very few of them are guided by fact. And so I like to incorporate facts, research, things like that, and just really give people the sex education that they probably never got, because very few states actually mandate sex ed, and the few that do, most of them don't require that it's actually accurate. So I think for a lot of people, I mean, children for sure, but then later in life, adults are still lacking real sex education. So I think it's good to talk about it. And even if you're not getting sex ed from a sex educator per se, I think it's good to talk about it with your friends and your family and learn from their experiences. Like, that is truly the best way to learn.
Yeah, and I feel like especially the younger folks are learning sex from porn and the internet, which is kind of scary, right?
Yeah, so actually the age that used to be recommended to give children sex ed was 13 for a long time, because they were, hitting that adulthood stride, getting pretty close, and it's moved down to 8 just simply because of the age that children are being exposed to pornography, and parents are really not restricting children's computer use. And even if they are friends, they're exposed to stuff. You never know what you're going to see on the internet, and so it's really important to start talking to people from a really young age right now.
Yeah, and age-appropriate content, right? Learning about your bodies and who should be touching it and who should not be touching it, et cetera, right?
Sure. I like the policy, if they're old enough to ask it, they're old enough to look it up, so you should probably just tell them. I like that thought process. But yeah, I just think open and honest conversation is the key to a healthy sex life. And no sexual shame. Like, we all experience sex in different ways, and that's okay.
Right. We had a rule, and I want everyone to know, when we came into this, I tell Ginger, we do not talk about my sex life or her sex life, but I'm going to have a confession.
What?
You exist.
You tell me where I was conceived.
I had sex. Because I had sex.
Wait,
yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah, I'm here because you had sex.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
I know. I'm committing.
Kohler is not a virgin, everybody. News. Tell the media.
Confessing this on air. I have had sex. Okay, so I asked Ginger, I said, give me some fun facts, because Ginger is so embedded in this education, not only with her classes, but she has bazillions of books, and she's learned all sorts of weird and wacky fun facts, and she brings them home to me and says, hey, guess what, Mom? And they always make me giggle, and sometimes they make me say, oh, good, that's a nicety. So start hitting us with some fun facts. What's number one, Bean?
Okay, so I thought for number one, I would do the health benefits of sex, because it's a healthy podcast, so why wouldn't I? So having regular sex lowers your blood pressure.
Nice.
It gives you a better immune system, better heart health, and lower risk for heart disease, which is pretty cool. Improved self-esteem, decreased depression and anxiety, increased libido. It's immediate and natural pain relief as well, and you sleep better. So all sorts of big parts of your health.
I like that very much. And as I believe, I could be wrong, correct me if I am wrong, but these benefits come whether you are having sex with someone else or just having sex alone, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Masturbation has all the same effects. I I think sometimes having a partner for sex can even be well, it could go either way. It could totally go either way, but yeah, masturbation helps with all of these things.
Do you know one of my girlfriends, Dawn Masalem? She's a lifestyle medicine doctor for cancer patients at the Mayo Clinic. And at the Mayo Clinic, they have in their gift shop, they have vibrators because it helps cancer patients with pain management.
Yes. No, it's an extremely big thing with pain management, especially, like, I think there's a big stigma around period sex, and especially in, like, the genital area, it can be really helpful for pain relief. So whether it's anything from period cramps to cancer, like, it's a real pain reliever, the hormones it releases. It's not and not just in the way that it's like, "Oh, I'm distracted." Like, no, it actually is pain relieving qualities.
Ah, nice. So I want more doctors to start recommending that versus Percocet. Go home
Yes.
and have sex twice a day to deal with this back pain.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I it works for a lot of people.
The solution. Okay, so that's number one. What's our next fun fact?
So we're gonna go through sex lingo
Sex
from
lingo.
around the universe. So I'm gonna say a word, and then you have to guess what it means.
Okay.
Okay. Procrastinating.
Procrastinating. Putting off masturbation if you feel frisky, but you're I don't know, putting it off?
So it's kind of the opposite. It's using masturbation to put off other things.
Oh, so that's a problem.
So it's a problem. Yeah, like you you're doing it or like when you do it to kill time or it could be a problem, it could not be a problem. But yeah, procrastinating. Like, oh, guess I should just do this. But with all the health benefits, maybe
That's
it is
right.
a part of your day.
That's
Okay.
right. So hey, wait, pause right there. So you have given us some very good tips, but I am telling the folks at home, do not skip your workouts too. You can have the sex and go do hip hop class and
Yep.
do your push-ups, right?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. Fit it
don't
all in, all the
don't
health stuff.
procrastinate.
Don't procrastinate your workouts. You can
Okay.
procrastinate other things.
Okay.
Doppelbanger.
Oh, thank you for asking me that. Doppelbanger. You know what? I could say I don't know, but I feel like it's just so much more interesting if I come up with a guess. So there's a weather tool called, I believe it's the Doppler that predicts the weather. And then a doppelganger is if you look like somebody. So what's the word again?
Doppelbanger.
Doppelbanger. If you are getting it on with someone who looks just like you.
Yes, that's exactly what someone who looks like you but isn't related to you. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's science. Look how smart your mom is.
Yeah, it's like the siblings are dating page. Those would be doppelbangers.
And that's creepy. That's just like you look like your lover, but you don't.
Yeah, you guys look like you could be related, but
All
you're
right.
not. Okay,
Doppelganger.
shrimping.
Boy, I don't even want to answer this, but I'm going to do it.
I like it.
Rimping.
Mhm.
I feel like trying to get it on with a person who's very small or a person whose body parts are very small.
No, it's orgasm-inducing toe sucking.
Ugh, I don't like. Well, I'm not supposed to make people feel sad, but wow.
Doesn't have to be for you.
Okay, so, to me. I don't. Well, good for those folks who can just make it happen in that interesting way, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, master waiting.
Master waiting. When oh, okay. Master would mean over like Jerry Seinfeld says, being master of your own domain. So master tells me it's sex inflicted upon yourself, maybe. And waiting, maybe putting a pause on your orgasm or I don't waiting till your romantic partner leaves to get it on by yourself?
So that's a good guess. Not quite there. It's when you're masturbating and watching porn and the porn is buffering.
Oh, boy.
So so when the porn, like, pauses, you're masturbating.
All right. Okay. Noted. Okay. Thank you for that.
And this will be our last one, a nooner.
A nooner, that's when you get it on in the middle of the day.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so the next sex fact is that there are 8,000 nerve endings in the clitoris, which is double the amount in the penis.
Okay. That's surprising.
Is it surprising? Why is it surprising?
I would say because most people feel like the penis is super easy to make happy, and maybe the clitoris is not, like, who can find it, and then as if working on it is a real big effort, like, it's a real big confusing mess. It's probably
Yeah,
not.
it's probably not. I
Okay.
mean, yeah. Yeah, so
So
where
what do
would I
you what do you think? So twice the nerve endings in the clitoris
place nerve
versus
endings, and
penis.
they're extremely condensed, which is cool. The clitoris is actually a lot bigger than people think it is. So there is a part of the clitoris that is visible to the eye, the little, like, people call it the pearl that's at the top of the vulva. But the clitoris is actually around 3 inches long and it wraps around the vulva. So there's a lot there, which, for instance, is why the first inch of sex, inch of a penis in a vagina can be seen as the most pleasurable because that's the area that's being wrapped around by the clitoris. The clitoris is actually the only organ that is solely for pleasure in a lot in I don't wanna say all animal species because I feel like dolphins have something too, but it's one of the only organs we know about that is specifically designed for pleasure and nothing else. It serves no other purpose,
Hmm.
which I think is really cool because there's so much stigma about, "Oh, men want pleasure and women are made to have, like, babies and be caretakers, and they're not as sexual as men," but when we're biologically designed to actually have more sexual pleasure in many instances. So, I thought that was pretty cool, and especially with the amount of crazy that sometimes men will act about how, vital an orgasm is or important it is, that it can actually be a lot bigger for women, and there's a lot more stimulation to be had even if they maybe struggle to make it happen.
So from what you've learned, my
Yeah.
studious gal, why do you think women it seems like many women have a harder time having an orgasm?
Yes. Well, so when having sex, straight men have orgasms 96% of the time ish,
Okay.
and that is similar to when they're masturbating. For women, women are having sex or when they're having sex with a man are having orgasms like 30% of the time, 86% of the time when they're with other women, and 96% of the time with themselves. So it's not actually that women are harder because we're
Okay.
doing it just fine on our own, you know? We're just as able to do it as men. Women are not somehow biologically harder than men are. And if you look at countries like Sweden, for instance, that what we call the orgasm gap, where women are having a lot less orgasms than men, where they have good sex education, that closes a lot. So it's not actually that women are worse, like, are biologically harder to have orgasms.
Right.
It's that culturally we don't value women's pleasure in our sex education, and we don't have much of it in the first place. So men and women around the world are just kinda lost on that front a lot, but it's proven that sex education helps it a lot. So I think that's what it's really all about is it's a social thing and not so much of a biological thing.
So what do you think the solution is? How do
I
we
think
teach the guys?
I think the solution is I love Sweden. Live, laugh, Sweden. Actually, I'm lying. Norway.
All right. All right.
I'm
Norway.
in the wrong place. Norway has fabulous sex education.
Okay.
And I think the Nordic methods should be brought over here. What they do is number one, they're very just like sex positive community. They are very open. They talk about it a lot. But sex education is actually started when you turn 5
Okay.
and in kindergarten, which to Americans sounds crazy. It sounds like, "Oh my god, that's insane." But once again, age appropriate. 5-year-olds are learning to say, "Can I borrow your pencil? Can I give you a hug?" And if somebody says no, they learn to respect that. So they learn lessons about consent and being okay taking a no so that when they're older and somebody says, "No, I don't wanna have sex with you tonight," they don't freak out and assault them. You know what I mean? Things like that. So you learn at a super age-appropriate level, and you talk about sex in a very normal context. Both boys and girls learn about sex together, which is really important because when you split up men and women, it makes it really hard to talk to one another, and in a heteronormative society where straight people are dominant, it we're the only people who need to talk to each other, right? Like, if I grow up uncomfortable talking to men about sex, that's really gonna hurt me in the long run.
Right.
So, you grow up, the 2 of you together, talking about it, and you talk about it with your family, and it's very common there for somebody to be 17, have sex for the first time, and say, "Hey, mom, I had sex last night." And mom says, "Oh, great. Did you orgasm? Was it fun? Are they nice to you?" And you have those super open conversations. And those are the types of societal changes that start to close the orgasm gap.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Smart girl. I like that. So yay, Norway. And also yay, Sweden, just because
Also, yes, I love Sweden. Sweden's great. They probably also have good sex
yeah,
ed.
they probably do. Probably do.
Knowing Sweden, they probably got that down.
Probably do. We're gonna give some extra props. And you've got some Swedish blood in you, girl. So let's give some extra props
Hope so.
to the
Heck
Swedes.
yeah.
So this is a total sidebar, but you mentioned dolphins, and
Yeah.
I have seen news reports about some dolphins trying to have sex with humans. Have you seen that?
I have also seen that. Dolphins are actually also one of the only animals that have not one of the only, but they're animals that have sex for pleasure, which is
Yeah,
kinda cool.
yeah.
But, yeah, they have some weird human connections. They also, like, are super into pregnant women, maybe not into in, like, a
Yes.
sexual way, but they come and if a pregnant woman's around and a dolphin is in the water, they're gonna go to that pregnant woman.
Yeah.
They're gonna hang with her.
I wish I would have known that when I was pregnant because I would have gone into the ocean and summoned all of the dolphins to come
Huge power.
snuggle or whatever.
That
I
would be a
would
great time to go to, like, Discovery Cove or something, you know?
I saw a video about there were people riding the dolphins, and one of the dolphins wouldn't have anything to do with the pregnant woman. That dolphin would take everybody else for a ride and would not touch the pregnant woman. It was being
I
killed.
think however they feel, they certainly have an opinion on pregnant
They
women.
sure do. They sure do. I'm glad we took a pause to talk about dolphins because
Very important.
it's very important stuff. Okay, next fun fact. Here we go, Ginger.
Okay. Over $500,000 a year is spent surgically removing objects that have gotten stuck up people's butts,
Hmm.
which which leads to something else that I think is important that people should know, is it's very important picking out if you wanna put something up your butt, it's important to make sure it has an anchor, because if you'll notice, things that are designed for the vagina are often just like, like banana-y, whatever.
Like a cylinder. Yeah.
The cylinder, because the vagina has a cap at the top that's called the cervix. It's 3 to 4 inches up. So God forbid something gets stuck up there, you can get it out. You can fish it out. And even if maybe you can't do that on your own, go to the doctor, they use a tool to get it out. It's no big deal. Your butt doesn't have that. It goes into your organs. It goes into your stomach. It goes so people just if you notice how a butt plug is, it's got the woo part that goes in, and then it's got the thing at the bottom that keeps it anchored
So
to
it
the
can't
outside world.
through. Right. There's
Yeah,
something in the outside.
and that's really important with butt stuff
Huh.
because as shown, 500,000 almost okay, $430,992.
That's a lot.
And when I used to work in a sex store, and when I worked there, I would always ask the nurses, "What's your crazy sex story?" Always, every single time. "Oh, something got stuck up someone's butt again." I'm like, "What?" But people don't know.
Okay. So does the study tell you what the most common things that get stuck up the butts are?
I know. This
No.
is a note I had from a class a while ago.
Okay. Darn
So,
it. Because that
yeah,
would be.
maybe that'll be episode 2.
So I've seen stories where someone's put a light bulb in there. Are you kidding me? The
Oh,
idea
goodness.
of shattering glass in your booty?
There's a trend to get a balloon, blow it up, and put a gerbil in it, and put it
Oh, that's an old thing. There used to
Oh, I
be.
know.
I'm not even gonna mention the actor. Everybody knows who he is. He's super hot. He's got salt and pepper hair. Now
I
it's
know
all dressed.
Eminem wrote a song about it.
Yeah. I don't want to say his name because that's mean. But anyways, everybody knows who it is. Folks, if you're listening, you can message me and be like, I know who it is. It's blank, but I don't want to say it on the air. But there was this nasty rumor that he would put those little gerbil tubes in his tush. And why would somebody make up a rumor like that about an actor? What a
Well,
strange thing
but
to
it's
do.
a thing that people are doing. It's a real trend, and one of the nurses was telling me about it, but it's like a thing that happens. People, they'll blow up a balloon, they'll put a gerbil inside, it'll run around, but then the balloon pops and the gerbil dies in your ass.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's, I would you know what? Our governor's pretty hardcore on making rules. I want to propose that Governor
None of that.
DeSantis, yeah, we're
None
gonna
of
it's
that.
a felony if you murder a cute animal in your sex act, right?
Yeah, I don't think you should do I think it falls into bestiality, personally,
That's yeah.
which I'm not cool with. I don't sex shame, but bestiality,
So when
eh.
when I was in Amsterdam, when I worked on that cruise ship many years ago, we stopped in Amsterdam. Boy, do I have all these different Amsterdam stories. I could tell, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna stick with this one. But we went into a quote unquote sex museum. And it was just a small little place. Imagine if you went into, I don't know, like a tiny little cafe in a city, just a real small one, and all there were all pictures all over the wall of sex acts, Polaroids, and there were I got to a section, it was all humans having sex with animals, and I just
Ugh,
thought, "Oh, get me out of here." It was gross. That place had a stink to it too, so we were
yeah.
out of there in a heartbeat, but yeah, people do that. That should be a serious felony. I hope maybe it's already a law in the books I'm just unaware of.
It is. I do believe bestiality is
Good. Ugh,
it's against the I just kind of assumed, I guess. I'd never seen it written
yeah,
down, but yeah, unless maybe it's with dolphins who apparently are
right.
equally eager to get it on.
That's right. They're consenting. Consenting before. Yeah, go try it with an alligator. See how that works. Okay.
Okay, next thing I wanted to talk about, male birth control.
I love this. Let's go.
Yeah. So, okay, male birth control for a long time has kinda had a hard road because women have a lot of these things called LARCs. That's an acronym that stands for long-acting reversible contraceptive. So that would be like the pill, for instance. Take that for like a month. The ring, you put that inside yourself for 3 weeks. Shots, that last 3 months. IUD can last years. Great stuff.
And
Then
opposing that would be short acting, which is just a condom, right?
yeah.
Simple barrier methods.
So the only male options, and women have short options too, but and long options, for instance, take why am I like in the word
Condoms?
take out your uterus? Long acting? Sterilization. Women can get sterilized. Men only have short and long term. They have condoms, short term, sterilization, long term. Nothing really in the middle. But there are some companies that have been working on possible in the middle stuff, and I think the most interesting are Plan A and Atom, which are 2 companies that are working on very, from what I can tell, similar methods of LARCs for men. And I've actually had the pleasure of interviewing the CEO of Plan A and some urologists and some just wonderful people on the subject. And so what it is it's a hydrogel that is put into the tube called the vas deferens. This is something that men have that carries sperm to the wiener and
Get
sperm,
technical.
seminal fluid, those things. And so when putting this this hydrogel in, what it does is it goes into the vas deferens and it creates a blockade. And so sperm can't go through, but seminal fluid can. So men can regularly ejaculate, do all those things, and but the sperm isn't happening. So this is supposed to, I know for Plan A, it's supposed to last up to 10 years. And for Atom, it's supposed to last up to 1. They're both in clinical trials, which is like last testing phases. They both have waiting lists of so many men that are interested in trying them. And I think they would both be super great options.
So that's an in-office procedure where probably a urologist would inject this gel product into the vas deferens.
Yeah.
Right? There's only one hole in the penis, so it's going through there, correct?
No.
No.
It's You mean you mean it's going into the penis hole?
Yes.
Oh, no, 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 no. So the vas deferens isn't
Oh,
it is more near like scrotum balls. So
okay.
you have to you it's a for a vasectomy, for instance, they cut open the skin, bring it out, cut it. And with Plan A, they have a device that grabs the vas deferens and puts it in that, which I thought they were going to have to, the urologist was worried that they'd have to take it out. And then there's a because within the vas deferens, there's an even smaller, like microscopic tube called the lumen.
Lumen? Yeah.
Lumen, yeah. And there's a lot of muscle around it. So if you aren't able, like if that muscle is, for instance, screwed up, that could cause a lot of pain. That's where the sensation of getting kicked in the balls comes from, is the vas deferens, like getting pulled on and stuff. So there's a lot of concerns about pain and things like that. But apparently the device that they're using is very easy to use for doctors and not resulting in much pain. So that's good. And then they put a dissolving agent in whenever you're ready, and it can be dissolved so that you can have kids again.
Okay, so it's an in-office procedure. It's surgical. It's invasive, but it's not a big deal. It's not.
Yeah, it's not very invasive. Less invasive than a vasectomy.
Okay. And then and what I like about this is, I'm the mother of one of each, so I care about the boys and the guys equally. And there's a lot of always women's rights, women's bodies, but the men are trying to control their fertility as well, and I actually feel sad for them that they don't have as much control. And for all the guys who don't want to be unwed fathers, or don't want to be fathers at all, or certainly don't want to have the baby with the wrong woman, this is a wonderful opportunity for them to remove themselves from those unwanted situations. It's
Yeah.
fantastic opportunity for men. And I know some women are like, haha, they're going to get the procedure and they're going to have the suffering. But I really
Who
think
said that?
well,
I ain't saying that.
not you.
I think this is fabulous for both genders, and
Right.
I think everyone's gonna. I mean, I hope everyone's gonna be on board with it. I hope it doesn't get the same scrutiny that sometimes women face with their birth control options. But I think men are going to have this wonderful option that they didn't have before that secures them, and hopefully couples will be double protected. Like that's hopefully the goal. Two is better than one, but on both sides, like so many women. The thing about male birth control is that how it's looking right now is that it's going to have a lot lesser side effects than women's birth control, which part of me is like, screw you, your first option is awesome. But then I'm like really happy for men. But for the women who, really struggle with birth control, it screws up their hormones, they can't use it for whatever reason, this is going to be a super great way for their male partner to be able to contribute in that way, and for both of them to be able to dictate their sex lives a lot better. So yeah, this is, and especially I think if we're talking about men's rights, like this is going to be super awesome for men who maybe don't just have one partner too. That if you want to screw around, like I think you put that on yourself. Maybe you're not able to have that conversation with everyone, or you don't want to, and I think you should, but that's
Yeah.
that's your prerogative. So that no matter what, you've got it. It's on you, hopefully. And now again, not everything's 100%, so you got to worry about that. I think it's going to be really cool because I think it's also going to give men a lot of perspective on the choices that a lot of women have to make as well. And hopefully, we're going to be able to have more open conversations about what the dudes think.
I agree. And I hope everybody continues to still use condoms if they're still in that frisky, trying new things stage, so they don't end up with all the STIs, right?
Yeah, that was one of the big things that my professor brought up when I spoke to her about it. She was like, the only downfall I see with this is less condom usage, which once again is a downfall of women's birth control as well. Lots of couples won't use condoms on that, but the double protection might be further incentive to forget that sexually transmitted infections exist.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, that's a good one. And so from what do you have any guesstimate when Plan A or the other one might be available?
I don't know.
Okay.
Hopefully soon, but I don't know. The clinical testing can take a long time, especially in the US. So
Well,
we hope for the best, hope soon.
that's very exciting. And I know through your your article writing, you've actually done features on Plan A, and it's Adams. Is that the other name?
Adam is the other one. I don't know as much about Adam, but it is on the market and it's similar. I also know that there are things like pills in the work. I haven't researched them as thoroughly on my own.
Okay. Well, cool stuff. That's a good one. That's a very good one. Okay, what's next?
Okay. Typically, 21 calories are burned during intercourse, which is about half a cup of asparagus. So you'd think it would maybe be, I thought it would be a lot more.
Me too.
I thought it'd be a lot more. I don't know if people are maybe just having lazy sex
I was just gonna
or
say that might be pretty lame sex.
I don't know. Or is this a average of both men and women? Because or are gay people included? Like, what's the deal here? Because I feel like I guess gay people aren't included because it's intercourse. But I think maybe there's a pretty big disparity between men and or not even men and women, but just like who is guiding it and who is not guiding the sex.
So
Because
if
it's kind of position dependent.
so if you're just lying there, it's 21 calories.
Starfish could be or less than 21 calories. It could be like a midpoint. So I don't really know the breakdown of these statistics, but I was a little saddened.
Okay.
Saddened.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going through my professional guesstimate in my mind. I would feel like if at least an active partner would burn
This
between 50 and 150 perhaps.
That's the hope, but also you have to think a the average time people are having sex is like 8 minutes or something. So that might be a big part of it, even if people maybe in short bursts are going pretty hard. But I don't know. Fitness is your thing, not mine. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Thought that was a little little sad, but maybe once again, don't replace your workout with sex.
Right. Although it will benefit you in other ways. But yeah, hold on.
Yeah. Okay, I thought this was super cool, but once again, I don't really know the context to this one. But in 2021, Harvard recommended that men ejaculate 21 times per month to reduce their risk of prostate cancer by 1/3.
Huh.
Isn't that interesting?
Wow. Well, that's something men can just hang their hat on, that they're
Yeah,
doing the thing just
I'm
because
reducing prostate cancer.
That's right, that's right, it's like getting rid of cigarettes or some what a wonderful study. That's okay.
Right? Like I think I I thought that was pretty cool because 1/3 is a lot. Like that's 30% less chance.
That's a big deal. I wonder if anyone is listening to this who has been diagnosed with prostate
They were
cancer.
like, "Dang it, I should have wanked it more.
A little more, a little
If I'd
more.
only."
If I'd only known. That's right, right.
Yeah. So
All right, guys, go for it.
go for it. Yeah,
Go
ladies, I don't know if it's helping us with cancer. I don't think it is, but you should do it too. But guys, now you have something to tell your girls. I gotta. Bleh. One thing that don't tell anyone that they need to have sex with you because of this reasoning.
That's right.
Nobody should have sex with you out of medical pity.
That's right.
But
You must have sex with me or we're both gonna get cancer.
yeah, no, please don't use this as some sort of way to pressure people. I don't want to be reliable for that. But masturbation, do that.
All
Do
right.
it. It's healthy. It's great. Okay. Do you know what lactobacilli are?
Lactobacilli. So lacto is milk and billi reminds me of like the little teeny wiggly things on your tongue or something like that. Tell me what it is.
Sweetly milk. No.
No.
So lactobacilli is a bacteria that lives in the vagina,
All
which
right.
is also used to make yogurt and
Mm.
beer.
Hmm.
So it lives in our microbiome because if you don't know this, the vagina has a very maybe the word is like sacred microbiome. It runs itself. It's a self-cleaning machine. It's super awesome. And lactobacilli is a super important part of that. It produces hydrogen peroxide, which fends off the bad anaerobic bacteria. So low lactobacilli actually makes you more likely to contract an STI.
Okay.
It makes you more likely to have a miscarriage or a premature baby, get bacterial vaginosis, BV, or to suffer from pelvic inflammatory disease.
Huh.
So low lactobacilli can be really hard. Also, too much lactobacilli starts to create lactic acid, which ferments into CO2 and alcohol, like how beer is made, for instance.
Hmm.
Except with women, it results in itching and a fishy smell.
Nice.
So
Nice.
you really want to keep like a middle ground with the lactobacilli. And there aren't a lot of ways to do that because science is only kind of now making some breakthroughs on medicine to protect your biome. Everything currently on the market, like douches, are bull. Like steaming your vagina, high
Okay.
pH soaps, anything scented, like, all of that is super yuck. So don't do that. But some of the ways so low lactobacilli, for instance, can be caused by, like, antibiotics.
Okay.
So making sure that you take those only when needed is important, or to just be aware that, like, if something's going wrong down there, it might be correlated and adjust appropriately. And then just, like, keeping your crotch out of, like, tight clothes, swampy environments,
Mm.
things like that. Keep your lactobacilli safe because there's a lot of ways it can go wrong.
Okay, so what you're telling me is for all the people who exercise, they go for a run, they do a workout class, they're sweaty and damp all over, get those damp, yucky clothes off.
Yeah.
Shower if you
Especially
can, if not, just put on fresh undies and clothes.
fresh undies are a big deal. I mean, vagina is cray. That thing is it's very acidic,
Right,
so
that's gonna be the tag of this show.
vagina is
Vagina is
cray.
gray.
Yeah.
Everybody say it out loud with us. Vagina
Vagina
is
is cray.
gray.
Yeah. It's crazy. So, if you're a lady watching or a guy watching and you've seen this and you've seen, like, white spots on, like, black underwear, for instance, that's because our vaginas literally produce bleach. Like, that is how acidic and crazy our vaginas can be. So, keeping tabs of that I loved leggings in high school. They did not treat me well.
No,
So,
okay.
learning from those types of experiences is a big deal because I think people a lot of times will get BV or something and be like, "Oh, it was because I had sex." It could very well be from a lot of different things. Like, if you live in Florida, highly likely that you are gonna go out to the lake for a day and come back with some BV because the vagina is very sensitive, so just treat her nice. Sleeping naked, great for that kinda stuff. Like,
Okay.
not keeping yourself cramped up helps those lactobacilli stay chilled out, stay happy.
So, this reminds me of when I was in high school, I had a friend who's still a friend, I'm not gonna mention her name, although if she's listening, and she probably is, she's probably having a good laugh, but she was constantly getting yeast infections, and I guess she got one after she had her tonsils out, they put her on antibiotics, and then her mom brought home yogurt, plain yogurt, but then nobody was sure whether she was supposed to eat the yogurt or smear the yogurt downstairs. To be honest with you, I still don't know the answer to that. I've not really not had to deal with that as an economy
Oh,
issues. But
goodness.
what do you do with the yogurt? Do you eat the yogurt? Does that
I
help?
would say definitely don't put it downstairs, but
Okay.
I think there are like, healthy eating is correlated to a good bacterial biome or vaginal biome down there. So I wouldn't be surprised if yogurt is helpful. People say cranberry juice is helpful,
Yeah.
but yogurt specifically because it's got lactobacilli in it. I feel like that maybe
Yeah.
could help with low lactobacilli, but it's there's not. I don't know if the lactobacilli is getting its way down there or not.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's a probiotic, so I think it's supposed to
yeah,
help with stuff, but I don't know if she ever did try smearing it on her hoo-ha. I can't remember how that worked, but it was a fun time, right?
okay. So moving on, this
Okay.
one is pretty interesting. I have a book that I love that I read this in and I was just floored. So, sexual orientation. And what that means in this moment is men, women, who do you like? You know? Who do you
Okay.
like? Anyone in between? What's your deal? Gay, straight, like
Who
that's what
you're
I'm
This is
sex
who you're attracted to.
yes,
Okay.
sexual orientation. You can be oriented and attracted to a lot of things, but that's what we're talking about today.
Got it.
Sexual orientation in that sense is very different for men and women. So what studies have found is that women's sexual orientation seems to be a lot more flexible than men's sexual orientation, which appears to be much more black and white, meaning that women, whether they are heterosexual or lesbian or anything in between, they get kind of turned on by everything. It's kind of just what studies are finding.
Okay.
Interesting. So, for a long time, sexual orientation has been people thought it was related to blood flow. So, like for men, what does blood flow to the penis mean? It means erection. So if you're a man and you see a man and you get hard, pretty clear signal that you're gay, right? Or that if you like women or if you're bisexual or whatever, like those signals are very clear. With women, they are not so clear. And studies have found that have looked at blood flow and that have not looked at blood flow. And if we look at from more of a social standpoint, so 45% of women identify as straight, 45% identify as mostly straight, and 10% identify as other categories. This book came out in 22. So that was the thought process there. And then men identify 80% as totally straight, 15% as mostly straight, and 5% other categories. Now, this questionnaire was made to talk specifically about straight people so that men didn't, or people didn't see the word gay and get immediately scared off if, for instance, they aren't interested in gay people. And then when asked if our society did not care or notice if your boyfriends and best friends thought it was perfectly normal and okay, do you think you might ever consider experimenting sexually with the same sex to see what it was like? And most women, like majority of women, 80-90%, said hell yeah.
Really?
And then most men were saying hell no. And it's very interesting because ratings of men appearing bisexual are like 1% to 2%. And for women, it is significantly higher. And that I think, and some studies will support, is because men have this black and white indicator of what they're interested in. Where women, our indicator, number one, gets aroused at pretty much everything. So there is a lot more potential for fluidity just biologically. But then also, because our genitals are internal and not external, you can, for instance, get aroused at something and nobody would ever know. And it can just be something that you don't even have to personally acknowledge. If, for instance, you feel like a straight woman, see a sexy Victoria's Secret model, your vagina can say, ooh, cool. And you can ignore that. You don't even have to really consider if that means anything to you. And so it's very interesting. Women, and I think there's this big stereotype like, oh, girls like to experiment in college, or like girls kiss girls, blah, 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 blah. And if men do the same thing, they're immediately thought of as gay. Like a girl can kiss another girl and people will be like, oh, she's just trying things out. If a guy kisses another guy, everyone's like, gay, gay. And I wish that wasn't the pressure. But it is interesting that science has some things to kind of back that stereotype up, that men are just like kind of are what you are. And women, no matter how much they feel one way, biologically are apparently just interested in kind of everything just a little bit. And that doesn't mean socially, that doesn't mean you'd ever want to sleep with the same sex or the opposite sex, depending on your orientation, like genuinely want to, because the brain can feel a lot different than your body. But yeah, there's some interesting orientation stuff there.
That's fascinating.
Isn't it fascinating? And I see it a lot. Like I feel like I see a lot of men and women because I'm in Greek life. And so many of my sorority sisters are just open to trying whatever person comes along. If they're interested, they're interested. And the fraternity boys seem to feel very differently. A lot of them will have a couple of gay men in their chapter, and I think that's great. But yeah, they're very just like, if you ask a guy, would you have sex with this person of the opposite gender? They're like, no. When you ask a girl, it's kind of a different feeling.
Yeah, you know what? I believe a lot of this stuff has been going on for all ages. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not a new thing. That's one of the things. It's not a new concept. I think there's definitely a lot more talk about it right now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more changes being made just kind of as societal whole. But it's not something that's new by any means. There's a really interesting, deep history, whether we're talking about the apes that we descend from or we're talking about Victorian France or it's kind of Victorian. Like, there are very interesting. Or the Greeks. Oh my God. Do the Greeks have an interesting gay history? Or just orientation in general. They express that in crazy
Drunken toga parties. Got to do whatever you got to do.
Oh, yeah. But I think women, I think that's very interesting because there's some science behind some of our previous thought processes. And some even like Britain had outlawed being a gay man, but they didn't outlaw lesbianism. They were just fine with that for a while. So interesting things like that. I don't know. I thought it was cool.
We're sending you to college to learn some very exciting things. What else have you got for me?
Okay, I've got my last of the 10 facts. And so we're going to talk about the 10 nations that have the most regular sex.
Okay.
And this is calculated on amount of adults who have sex at least one time per week.
Okay, now are you go from 10 to number 1?
10 to number 1. Do you want to guess what number 1 is? Do you just want to put something on that right now?
Number 1. I mean, maybe we go with those Norwegians since they're all comfy with their bods, right? That's my
Yeah.
guess. Go to number 10. Let's hear it.
Okay. And where do you think the USA falls on the list?
I would say the USA probably falls pretty low. Pretty low, I would say. Out of how many countries are there?
Well, this is the top 10.
Oh, so if the United States is on that list, I'd say number 8.
It's not necessarily on the list.
Okay. If it's on the list, I'm saying 8. If not, I don't know.
Okay. So number 10 is Mexico.
Okay.
71% of adults are having sex weekly.
Okay.
9 is Spain with 72%. 8 is Switzerland with 72%. 7 is Malaysia with 74%. Number 6 is Poland, 76%. Then we got number 5 is Italy with 76%. Now 4 is going to be surprising. 4 is going to be surprising. 4 is China.
Whoa.
Does that surprise you? Because that surprises me.
It does. It does. Because it just seems so rigid with all their rules, for sure.
Yeah, I think of China as a very conservative country, which doesn't seem sex to me. But also, when you think conservative country, you think married. And married says sex.
And I also think of lots of kids, which they do not have, which is anyway. So, okay, so number 4 is China. Let's go from there.
3 is Russia. 80% of adults in Russia are having sex once a week. 2, this is not surprising to me, Brazil.
No, you know what? That's actually when I left, when I went to Norway, I was abandoning Latin America. That's what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're very sexy, right?
They're very sexy people with 82%. And then this is a big jump for the next one. Number 1. Are you sticking with your number 1 guess?
I'm going to do it. Yeah, I'm sticking with Norway.
Greece.
Okay.
87%, which I'm not surprised about. Deep culture of sex. Those gods were screwing. That's part of their lore.
They're very freaky gods, getting it on all the time.
But yeah, the United States doesn't make the list.
Well, I was thinking we'd be, if there was 187 countries, I was thinking we'd be like number 70 or something like that. I don't know how many countries there are.
Yeah, not top 10. Actually, I do think we were in the bottom 10, but it was I haven't looked at the list in a while. I only picked the top 10.
Okay, well, most of my listeners are American, not all of them, but I'm going to encourage all of y'all to start getting busy, right?
Yeah, bring that statistic, y'all.
Yeah, with yourself or with your partner, safely and stuff. But everybody needs to start doing it more and more to get ourselves into the top 10.
Yeah, have some fun. It's healthy. It's silly. It's a good time.
You are so fantastic, Ginger.
Thanks. I love talking about sex. It's my favorite thing to do.
I know you do. And I'm so proud of you. And I want everybody to know that this girl is not only writing these fantastic columns that range from, relationship advice, cool things to do for Valentine's, affordable Valentine's dates you can do on a collegiate budget, to important sex conversations you should be having with a partner. So your articles have really been fantastic, and you've always been a talented writer. So I'm very proud of that. But the fact that you are showing up to sorority houses and other organizations to speak, to give them an hour-long presentation on safe sex, fun sex, responsible sex, all of those things makes me, I'm just so impressed by you. And when you said you wanted to be a sex educator, I was kind of had that question mark over my head. I went, huh? I was like, okay. And of course, we support you no matter what you do, but you're hitting it out of the park already. And I know you're going to have an extraordinary career. I hope you will always take the time to come back on the Fitzness Show when I ask, because I think you've got a lot of cool insight to share.
Yeah. Hey, you're paying my bills, so I'm at your disposal.
That's right.
Just kidding. That could always come.
I know, you're the best. Okay, so tell me what your song suggestion is. So this is the song that we want everyone to download or grab on Spotify or YouTube, wherever they hear it, and what's gonna help their workouts be a little more fun, a little more productive.
Okay, so I'm picking a song. I've listened to this 3 times already today, and I'm seeing this artist in concert this summer. And so her and her opener made a song together. It is called Wannabe by Megan Thee Stallion. and it is a vulgar song, so beware. But it's cute and it's fun, and it definitely helps me on my workouts. It's been on my workout playlist for sure. I would want to choreograph a hip hop dance to it. I think it'd be so fun. And her music video to it is very fun. She goes, "White boy wasted Channing Tatum." And it is a party where these two little white guys come in and they have the time of their life. And it's very funny and silly, and I quite like it. And they go, "Go Mag, go Mag, go Mag." And I'm like, "Go Mag, go." I go on my hot girl walks and I feel like I'm Meg and I feel like I'm having a great time. So, Wanna Be by Megan Thee Stallion and Glorilla.
And Glorilla. Okay, so a couple things there. It's not Megan the Stallion, it's Megan the
The
Stallion.
Stallion.
Yeah, there's 2 E's in that "the." And then she is super fit. She's really committed to working out, isn't she?
She is extremely committed to working out. Kind of one of her shticks in the rapper game is she's a beautiful body and it's natural body, but she works out for that thing. And if you watch her workout video, it's very funny. She does very funny commentary over the top, but you would think she was preparing for like war or a Olympic style sport of some sort because she works out like no one I've ever seen before. Like, oh my Lord. And her body shows it all. I mean, she's got a crazy butt. If you look at her Instagram right now, you'll be you'll see a lot of butt because her wannabe song, she made a challenge which is just twerking at the camera. And
Okay,
so
nice.
there's a lot of booty on her page right now. But a lot of these girls are so fit. A lot of them are like workout instructors and stuff, and they shake butts that are made of solid muscle. And it's very impressive to me.
Yeah, one of the things I like, it's funny because I mean, I was raised on really vulgar rap music, and now to some of it has really gone overboard, and I get a little cringy, but I still love the music. And so many of, especially the rappers, they have so many beautiful bodies, but almost none of them talk about exercise or healthy living. You would just think they're roaming around in a Cadillac on big wheels and they're drinking tequila all day or whatever. So I like that Megan says, no, I exercise and I exercise a
But
lot and I put in a lot of efforts to my workouts. And, you know, she certainly has her cool little gangster vibe a little bit there too, but
yeah,
she's healthy. She's
you know what?
legit healthy.
She's super awesome. I honestly see her as a cool mentor figure in my life. She's, like celebrity mentor, but she was given this key to Houston for all of her philanthropic efforts. She's done a lot for, I think it was scholarships or something. She puts a lot back into her community. She talks about health and fitness. She has a song out about her mental health issues, which I also don't think people talk about or rap about that much. You know what I mean? Like does she rap about her booty and going and partying a lot? Absolutely. She raps about sex, which is something that I love talking about.
Love
So,
that.
but yeah, no, I think she's a good figure. I also think it's very interesting. She got in some beef with Nicki Minaj recently, and Nicki Minaj went all in on her, said some of the most vile things ever, which I've always been a Nicki fan, but I thought that was really rough of her. And Megan Thee Stallion didn't respond. She stayed graceful and she had a great look and she came out of it looking absolutely like an angel. And Nicki came out looking mean because Megan didn't say anything back. She was very like I think she's a girl who's out here making good music and keeping good friends and protecting her little piece. And I think she's an awesome artist.
That's great. That's
Not
great.
a lot of bad stuff you can say about her. She's just, I mean, like, yeah, she raps about like drinking and whatever, but she's not mean with it.
Well, now I'm extra happy to have funded your concert.
I'm so excited. Me and my girlfriends are so excited to go see her. Oh my goodness.
You're gonna
I
have
want to see that butt in person.
that butt is gonna be so fantastic. Okay, Ginger Bean, this has been wonderful, folks. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't already done so, click subscribe and like and leave a review. Don't you think they should leave a review, Ginger?
You think you should leave a review?
Yeah, I should just do it. And I would love to hear your thoughts on this podcast and these subjects. And of course, if you have any interesting stories beyond dolphins getting freaky with humans, I'd love to hear about that. And Ginger,
And
what?
if you want to read my articles,
Yeah.
They're on her campus, UF. You can just look up my name, Ginger Kohler. And I've also have an article out with Strike Magazine, UF, called It's Fucking Fashion. It's about all the sex fashion in the world. It's very fun. And I have an Instagram called Ginger and Spice, which is ginger with 2 R's, _and _spice, because Ginger and Spice was taken by a Chinese restaurant. So
Oh boy.
I had to change it a little bit. But if you want funny sex facts and things, follow me there.
I love you.
I love you too.
All right. And I love all of them. Tell everybody to get to work.
Get to work.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hi, this is Rudy Novotny, the voice of America's marathons. We all love how much running has benefited every aspect of our lives, so much so that most of us only wish we'd started sooner. Wouldn't it be wonderful to give the opportunity to children of today? Well, you can. The Morning Mile is a before-school walking and running program that gives children a chance to start each day in an active way while enjoying fun, music, and friends. That's every child, every day. It's also supported by a wonderful system of rewards, which keeps students highly motivated and frequently congratulated. Created by our favorite fitness expert, Fitz Kohler, Morning Milers across the country have run over 2 million miles and are having greater success with academics, behavior, and sports because of it. The Morning Mile is free to the child, free to the school, and is inexpensively funded by businesses or generous individuals. Help more kids get moving in the morning by visiting morningmile.com. Champion the program at your favorite school or find out more about sponsorship opportunities. That's morningmile.com. Long may you run.